has been off for a couple of weeks. I don't know where he's been, but our old friend Beau Dietl. Good morning, Mr. Dietl.
Morning, Don.
How are you?
Oh, I feel pretty good this morning, except my ankle's a little bad. Other than that, I'm fine.
Okay, please confine your answers. When I say, how are you, to one word or two, at most.
Better than you.
Well, yes, you don't have cancer, do you? Anyway, I hope you're happy about that. Anyway, the Dakota apartment building is at 72nd and Central Park West, and it's where John Lennon was shot, where he lived. And it's one of the creepiest buildings that I get to creeps driving by it.
Really?
And people fight to live there, you know. But you couldn't, not that there would, but you couldn't give me an apartment there. I wouldn't take it, even if I never had to live there, if it just had to resell it. It's that creepy of a building. I was over in the park yesterday walking around.
Yeah.
With Dietl and Wyatt and the dogs, looking over at it. You've driven by there, obviously. It's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, they have some catacombs in there. They have the arches where the cars used to drive in there. And upstairs they have these like things on the top. If you ever saw the top there, they have these little rooms on the top. If any place is haunted, that joint's got to have ghosts.
Creepy place.
Really?
Now they're having a big fight over there. Alphonse Fletcher, he used to be the head of the board, and now he's suing the board because he's got 2 or 3 apartments there. He's got one for himself, one for his mother, and a couple of smaller apartments, and he wants to buy another one. And it's just the New York Times devoted 3 pages to this.
Oh my God!
To this story that no one on God's earth would care about. You know what's good about it?
What?
It's idiotic rich people fighting over nothing. You know? and in a creepy building. So anyway, what's on your mind?
Well, speaking about creepy things, since we last saw each other, what do you think about the New York Stock Exchange being taken over by a German company called Deutsche Börse or whatever it's called? They're going to take over 60% of America's New York Stock Exchange. This is crazy. What if like BlackRock, Blackstone, Goldman, or J.P. Morgan, what if they wanted to take over the New York Stock Exchange? There'd be cries in the United States Congress, this is a wrong thing to do. Imagine if Honda tried to take over General Motors. We wouldn't let them do it. How in God's name are we letting, right now, a German-owned business take over our New York Stock Exchange? This is madness. I mean, where is everybody standing up and screaming about it? Our institution, the way we know it, all our American stocks and all our corporations that run through there are going to be controlled by my friends eating knockwurst and sauerkraut over there. I'm German. I can talk like that, okay? So my point is, where is this madness? I spoke to Joe Grano, former chairman, CEO, PayWeb UBS, Johnny Myers, and even little Dickie Grasso. They're outraged. Dick Grasso took this New York Stock Exchange to the epitome, from $400,000 a seat up to $4 million. Now we're going to be owned. Well, what's next? Why don't we just sell General Motors to Honda, and then we'll have no more General Motors? I'm outraged about that. Also, I'm outraged. Ask me about Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
No, I don't want to.
All right, here. People don't realize this is all about politics. It's all about politics. Do you know?
Where did Connell go? Does Connell have where's Connell and Dagan? They both leave the room when you're on for some reason.
Well, 171.
we need a counter response to those allegations about the stock exchange.
Can I finish the other side about Wisconsin?
No, sure.
$171 million. Charles, listen up, please.
I'm listening.
$171
million. We're listening. Why are you hollering?
$171 million was given to the last interim election, the halfway election. $171 million. Do you know how much was given to the Republicans? 2%, 98% went to Democratic candidates. This is about politics, because the way Wisconsin goes, that's the way Ohio's going to go, and that's the way your presidential election is going to go. They're fighting for their lives, the Democrats, because the Democrats have sucked behind this. You know what? You don't even realize what's happening. It comes out. They talk about, Christie talks about New Jersey.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm wondering. Why each week he comes in and then just takes over and rants and raves about, we don't get any information. It's just nonsense.
Do you know that New
Jersey your mic's off. So do you?
Well, this is Well, the stock exchange, is this what we stormed the beaches of Normandy for? I guess that's his point.
Okay.
I think you're right.
That's
Yeah.
We need awareness of that.
Oh, what can be done about it?
Well, we need somebody like General Beau Patton right there to lead the charge.
I will be.
Well, why doesn't Joe Grano and little Dickie Grasso and these other clowns do something about it?
Well, they're speaking out, but then when you got like a Little Wiener over there, Little Wiener's worrying about a statue. Your friend there, Congressman Little Wiener, worrying about a statue in Kew Gardens because a guy's standing.
Why would
it's
you
an old
describe
Roman
him
statue. This
as my friend Little Wiener?
Because he's worrying about a statue in Kew Gardens with a guy with a sword with two women under him and says that's a sexist statue. Well, why don't we go to Florenzi where they're holding heads chopped off?
Of Hayes Carl's song. You heard that song? One bed, two women, 3 bottles of wine. You haven't heard that song?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't. All I further say, no, and I'm not going to yell about it. 2020, they said New Jersey's civil service pensions are going to be bankrupt. What Christie wants to do is start dealing with it now.
If you're coming in screaming about
I don't want to scream.
It's tedious for me. It's got to be tedious for the audience.
Well, I tell you the truth. I'm not going to scream anymore. Can I talk?
Yeah, sure.
Can I really talk? Honestly?
You are talking.
Okay. You got real estate tax breaks in New York City.
Turning colors.
Real estate tax breaks in New York City. 421A. Did you ever hear it? If they build
What if you got one of
condo,
those lizards and put it on his... The lizard,
absolutely.
chameleon.
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 You know what I
The
find
lizard
out?
would change colors to match
you.
Don?
How do we get one of those, Bernie?
Put a chameleon on his head.
Needs a mood ring.
You go to Ace Hardware.
Did you
A
ever
moon ring. That's what we need.
did you hear about
Where did Connell and Dagan go? Why did they just disappear?
I don't know.
Go ahead. Well, no, do I know what?
I'm sorry.
421A? 421A is the tax abatement in New York City. It's costing New York City up near $900 million a year. How about buying a 3,000 square foot apartment you buy for $6 million and you pay $1,200 instead of $60,000 for taxes?
And what do you
being
think
done
about
right left?
outlawing smoking in New York?
You know what? I agree with it, but I don't agree with it in public parks. I think that's a little over the top because I stopped smoking the cigars.
Yeah.
Thank God for Jimmy the Cricket there, our mayor. What's his name there? The little obnoxious
Benito
guy.
Bloomberg.
Yeah, Bloomberg. He was up with me, Rayo, smoking number two Monte Cristo Cuban cigars with me having after dinner a few years ago, puffing away. 2 weeks later, he puts the smoking ban.
Yeah.
My point is, if you're in a park and you want to smoke a cigarette or you want to smoke a cigar, now you're infringing on that person's right. You know, as a libertarian.
Man, then I walk by him and I get a lung full of smoke.
It's bad.
I've had that happen in the park. No, it's ridiculous. All right, thanks, both.